So I was watching coverage of March for Our Lives and a lot of the speeches, and it's really powerful stuff. It's the students coming out and speaking about it, and I can't imagine how hard it would have to be to go through such experiences and to go and tell so many people about it and the trauma and the stress involved. And it's really a credit to the students who are, a lot of these guys are kids. I saw as young as 9, 11 years old, and a lot of teenagers, and these guys are leading a new movement for change. And I think back to my generation, which preceded this generation, and the same bloodshot was there, a lot the same issues were there, and we did nothing. And I think from my generation to your generation, we're sorry, and we should have been doing something a lot earlier. And really a lot of credit. Can't say enough how amazing these kids are for stepping up and doing something about it. And I think so as I've probably mentioned way too much, I grew up in a fairly suburban rural area. When I grew up, I hear a lot about the NRA, and I always I had a lot of gun owners around me. I never was personally, but I had a lot of people who hunted, who went to target practice, and it was like just normal. Like, we had off for the first day of deer hunting season. So when I heard NRA, we always believed that they were a gun owner advocacy group, so to speak. So that was always something that you just believed. So the question is the NRA really, just their innocent organization to back up gun owners for their rights, for their Second Amendment rights? Because they oppose all kinds of laws, expanding background checks, changing age requirements, the issue of assault rifles, which admittedly is a little more controversial. All these stricter gun laws they oppose. However, even polls of gun owners show plurality or majority support of a number of these ideas and provisions. Which leads to the question, okay, so they're going against the gun owners in that case. They're going even more extreme. So that asks the question, who are they really representing? And the answer to that is simple. Gun manufacturers. Who else? Their primary purpose is to sell as many guns as possible to make the gun industry more money. And this is why the type of policies they're almost always supporting, even under the guise of safety, they're never restricting guns. There are things like arming teachers, ideas that generally involve bringing in more guns because they want to make their clients money. That's really what it comes down to. To them, profit is more important than finding solutions to mass shooting. It's more important than the lives of the kids and adults and the victims in general. So we've established, one, that the NRA actually supports gun manufacturers, not actually gun owners. But recently it's even taken a more twisted turn, and it's really morphed into a pseudo-patriotic, right-wing incitement organization. If you don't believe me, you can look at NRA TV, and there are a lot of pieces probably done on that. The most well-known was a few weeks back, John Oliver did a piece on it. I mean, there is some fucked up shit on that channel. And just one example of this is the case of Philando Castillo, a lawful black gun owner who was murdered in cold blood by a police officer. The NRA did not say a goddamn word about that. In this case of Philando Castillo, I would argue there is a two-sided mission that's being accomplished and why they were silent. The one side is their corporate side, right? Police departments are a major buyer of guns, right? So, for them to come out against the cops would massively piss off one of their biggest clients' customers. And we know about the militarization of police and everything like that. So, they're not going to piss each other off. And on the flip side, you have their right-wing side, which is basically their belief that the Second Amendment is for white people only. No more, thanks to these kids who are fucking heroes. No more will the NRA be able to pull the wool over our eyes. As far as we're concerned, NRA, your fucking time is up, and the same goes for your coward piece of shit politicians who take legalized bribes from you and then offer up their thoughts and prayers and don't do anything about the fact that kids are dying in our schools and our streets.